Until recently, I was never quite exactly a fan of Dio. I very much respect and acknowledged everything he accomplished, as well as EXO being one of the most prominent K-pop groups in K-pop history, and he himself was a very accomplished singer and actor in his own right, but it just never quite hit with me until his most recent release with Somebody. As humans, our tastes evolve and change over time, and it certainly matured when I listened to his second mini album. Somebody was so good in terms of both the music video. I was riveted by the endearing nature of the music video and the story and the direction, but also how that song perfectly accompanied the music video that it urged me to give the album a shot. And when I did, I was thoroughly blown away. It made me go check out even his Limujin service. And I was listening to the album, and I still listen to it to this day. And songs like, first of all, if you know anything about me, I'm a huge sucker for pop. So Lost, immediately I loved how good and catchy that song was. But it wasn't just the pop stuff. You know, it was also his slower paced songs like Wonder and I Do that really won me over. And I was able to finally get and understand what the hype was, the nuance of how skilled of a singer he is. And also, The View completely solidified that, oh my God, I love how this guy sings. The View is just excruciatingly beautiful. I love that song so much. So I was very adamant after that album that when he does have a comeback, I would definitely be there with bells and whistles on. So here we are. We're going to be checking out the music videos for Popcorn as well as his title track, Mars. Let's go ahead and begin. Very strange lighting. Very strange camera work. It's like weirdly humorous.
처음 만난 그날의 장면 참 나답지 않던 그 떨림
Okay.
무표정이 서 있던
I get the feeling that the music video is gonna be a little funny or witty in its humor.
눈에 씌워진 콩깍지처럼 너의 모든 순간이 예뻐 보여 그대가 내게 준 설렘이죠 처음 그날처럼 그댈 보면 행복해져 떨림을 잊었던 마음도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘 달콤해진 맘이 매일 팝콘처럼 튀는 느낌 달디던 당신의 말도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘 매일의 새로운 면도
Interesting visual to see exploding popcorn out of the laundry.
사랑스럽게만 보이는 맘 당신과도 나누고 싶은 이 맘 뻥하고 터질 것 같은 기분 처음 그날처럼 그댈 보면 행복해져 떨림을 잊었던 마음도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘 달콤해진 맘이 매일 팝콘처럼 튀는 느낌 달디던 당신의 말도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘
Holy. Oh my God. The scale of that shot of having to have all that popcorn come out must have been outrageous.
수 없어 매일같이 행복해져 둘만의 모든 순간도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘 사랑이란 벚꽃잎이 걸음마다 휘날리지 함께할 모든 순간도 터질 듯 설레맞지 팝콘
Ah, that's a phenomenal music video. That's a really well directed and well written music video. I think how the song lyrics and the message and the general vibe of the song is translated through the music video's humor is its biggest strength. So I think one of the things that I've always been really impressed by with Dio is that he's a fantastic actor. And it's his acting that really brings a sense of an endearing, lovable nature to this song. The whole song, Popcorn, if you put it on paper, lyrically, it's pretty cute, simple, and symbolic, easy to digest, right? Like popcorn. Just the idea of being so in love and your heart exploding like popcorn. But that sort of explosion, that fluttering nature of it is a little exciting. And in Dio's example here, it's a little silly as well. But that endearing nature of falling in love is portrayed through, well, his acting, his humorous dancing, his singing. It's his willingness to make himself goofy that makes you fall in love with both the song and the music video just a little bit more. And it's not just a silly music video though. It's the ability to, and it's what makes it great. It's the ability to jump around from being extremely silly dancing to these very goofy expressions, these lovesick expressions, to the completely straight-faced, serious acting. Even the shots right here. Look at that shot of how he's pouring the oil. The way the shot is zooming in, the way he actually even whips off the cap, it makes it seem like he's about to do some exquisite 5-star culinary Michelin star cooking. But that's it. All he does is just make popcorn. All he's doing is pouring in the kernels. And it seems really simple, and that's why it's funny on paper, but how seriously he takes it also showcases how seriously he takes this love. And it's that level that also grounds the song is the bouncing back between the silliness and the seriousness. Even this shot right here. I love this shot right here where he has this serious love-struck expression. And the popcorn constantly exploding out of his backpack while he's being serious too. That's hilarious. But what also makes this music video work is the visual cinematography. So out the gate, I very much thought that this was such very strange camera work. From the gate, starting out on the alarm clock and zooming and panning out and then framing Dio off to the side like this immediately adds a slightly quirky vibe to the music video. I had a feeling that it might be humorous in nature because of how much it was willing to sit in that silence and then how it ends the framing as well. And mind you, it does actually get funny, like quite literally out the gate, almost fourth wall breaking as he sings. And it's funny because we can all relate and empathize to it. We've all had those moments where we're just in the middle of brushing our teeth or going about our day, and whether music is playing on the speaker or in our earbuds or not, we just suddenly bust out into like the random lyrics of a song because it's so stuck in our head, right? I think a good example would be like Cream Soda by XO. You know, I'm not going to attempt the falsetto and the high notes because, this video is going to live on the internet forever. But I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Him emulating those moments also makes us feel connected to him, but it's those moments that's really, really funny. And it's not just the camera work, but before we move away from the camera work, there's a little bit more here. Like the camera work here in this living room scene. again, their willingness to hold rather than cutting, their willingness to hold until the lyrics hit and the swell of the instrumental, and then the camera starts panning and swaying. It gives it a almost enchanting, magical Disney-like feeling to it. It's through the language of the actual camera work that they're portraying the magical nature of falling in love and all this popcorn exploding. That's really dope. And lastly, it's also the lighting. The lighting, couldn't quite tell from the beginning, but it did look a little strange off the gate. And right now, it all seems like, oh, okay, maybe it's just like this is how they're lighting their daylight. But still, it's a little slightly overexposed on his face. And as it progresses, it's like, okay, maybe it's just daylight, but it's their lack of shadows and how brightly lit most of everything is and how overlit the main source of light is. And it becomes much more prominent. Less so here, but more so, I would say, in the lobby of the elevator scene. Definitely this shot right here, but it's especially obvious here. The video has a great, I think, a sort of like a 70s retro aesthetic to it. I think the color language of the music video, the bright yellows and the beige, even his living room, which is like this multitude of funky different colors, I think gives it a very retro sort of wholesome feeling to the music video. But it's the lighting. The lighting has a sort of sitcom lighting effect where it's a little sitcom lighting, it's a little spot lighting, a little showmanship lighting. It gives him it makes him feel like the main character of his own story, but they're adding that humorous nature to it because, well, the whole idea is like he's kind of in his own head, where this dude's just like coming through and trying to live his life, but Dio is out here dancing around and singing. But the spotlight effect gives it that extra comedical feeling to it, but it also makes him feel like the star at the same time. So basically in his own head, he's the star. Everything is wonderful, but from the outside view, it's a little goofy. It was especially, I think, it was starting to, now that I see it, it's a little obvious here because there's a gradient right here. It's dark right here. So there's a bit of a spotlight going on right here, but it wasn't noticeable immediately out the gate. You see it a little bit more here. There's a bit of a spotlight right here. And so the music video is it's a perfect mix of humor, but also complete seriousness and this beautiful, lovely, wonderful, silly definition of falling in love. And it's a great pre-release track and music video. I'm also noticing it says the elevator's out of service right here. That sign right there, that sign is put up there because the elevator's out of service. It says caution, wet floor even, and you see him throwing caution to the wind and dancing around like crazy. Ooh, these little touches and elements are really nice. And so that's why this guy is also taking the stairs, because the elevator's not working. What crazy person in Korea actually takes the stairs up? We all take the elevator. But he presses the not working elevator, and we see why it's out of service. And that absolute straight-faced deadpan look is so funny. Oh man. Okay, Popcorn is such a wonderful video. Let's go ahead and check out Mars next. Those are bottle caps. Wow. I mean, visually, it's already stunning. The whole video has such a muted color palette, and the flowers are so saturated. 4 hours ago.
stuck on Mars. You know I'm stuck on. But now I'm stuck on Mars. 안녕 인사를 하고 나면 외계인 같다 느낄지도 몰라. 어떤 표정을 준비해야 내 맘 전할 수 있을까. 알 수 없는 만남 더 궁금한 마음 속 작은 걱정. 예를 들어 우리 만나면 혹시 너무나 많이 다르지 않길 바라고 있어. 고민보다 더 빨리 내게 가까이 닿고 싶어. But now I'm stuck on Mars. You know I'm stuck on. You know I'm stuck on Mars. You know I'm stuck on. But now I'm stuck on Mars. 시간이 지나고 나면 사소한 걱정일 뿐일 걸 알아. 함께 할게 네 곁에서 하나 둘씩 닮아가길. 마치 오래된 사이처럼 웃을 수 있길 바라고 있어. 매일 설레는 고민보다 먼 고민 두렵지만 But now I fly from Mars. You know I fly from. You know I fly from Mars. You know I fly from. But now I fly from Mars. But now I fly from Mars.
Wow. Wow. That music video was far more, I think, simpler than Popcorn. But at the same time, it's a lot more deeper and impactful, given that they went for much more of a narrative direction with the music video. Dio playing somebody who is, I guess it's a little up for interpretation as to whether they're, I don't know, in a relationship with an alien or someone on a different planet or someone in the sky, in the stars, whatever it is. There's clearly a vast, great distance separating them. And he's just trying to get a message out. And that journey in and of itself to not miss out, the anticipation, the eagerness. Obviously, his acting plays a very crucial role in that. But a lot of it, I think, comes from just a very well shot and beautifully directed music video. The music video has, I think, such a, first of all, a very beautiful look to it. As I said, it's going for a kind of like a, the color tone is, it's a little, it's, how do I describe it? It's a little, not necessarily bleak, but it is a little different from our usual bright, oversaturated K-pop music videos that we're accustomed to. It's a little bit more filmic in its color grading, a lot more darker, deeper shadows. It's, I guess you could say, even the exact opposite of Popcorn in that way. They rely a lot on natural lighting in this, and at the same time, they also do that because they're trying to make the color of the flowers pop with a lot more emphasis. I guess it seems like the flowers are a bit of ray of hope amidst this sort of bleak setting. It's not necessarily a bleak setting, but at the same time, it's just it's there's this desperation, right? They miss this person, and they translate that really well through just the color grading alone. This shot right here is probably what we're more used to in terms of like the bright color grading and the tiny little messages were such a nice touch that caught me off guard when we saw the first one through like the bird box or the birdhouse, and then the second one as well. The tiny little messages. There's something very beautiful in that, in terms of like the scale. He's trying to throw a message out to space. His message is like huge and like sprawled out on the ground, but all he gets in return are these small little messages from such a vast distance, and it makes the emotion that it hits is something that is more precious because of it. So that was really, really well directed. Beyond that, I don't really have much else to say about the music video. It's pretty straightforward in its narrative theme. What are the bottle caps supposed to be? You know, the immediate impression I get is like when there's that American stereotype for when people get married, they attach a string of soda cans to the back of a car. It's a very old tradition. No one really does that anymore. But I wonder if at the same time, I don't know why the 4K turned off. I wonder if at the same time it's also signifying that a lot of his stuff is just home built, homemade. If you look at the shelter he built for himself, it's all just like blankets and such put together. And his devices here. This right here, the headphones. On one side, it's like an old school handheld cell phone, like a mid 2000s cell phone, and then the batteries are charging it on this side, like those battery powered twinkle lights, and even this communicator thing that he's everything looks a little homemade, right? And so I wonder if the bottle caps are just kind of they're a little bit signifying that a lot of this stuff is homemade. Maybe some of his equipment incorporates soda bottles, and he just decided to use the bottle caps in some way. One of my favorite parts of this music video is also the outro, which is a little bit strange, but the way they continue this instrumental and give us this ending credits of his sort of daily life on how he's trying to go about both sending this message and yearning for this person and highlighting all of this. The rain almost symbolically feels like him finally feeling refreshed because he received a sign from above, and even the fade in highlight of his name, Dio. It's just the presentation of it all that feels really mature and really well refined. So, really cool video. I think in terms of a song, I like the popcorn music video more just because there's something more interesting symbolically going on, and in terms of the production that I'm a big fan of. This is just a bit more straightforward narrative, almost movie-like filmmaking, which is not a bad thing. I just think the music video for Popcorn was extremely creative. But in terms of the song, I really like Mars a lot more. I think both lyrically, the sort of distance and the lyrics that he uses of symbolizing that you might think I'm an alien, or I hope we're not too different when we meet. Like those kind of things are, I think, very. It hit me a lot deeper than say something like Popcorn, but at the same time, the vibe of the song, the mid-aughts, the mid 2000s, especially the R&B and hip hop sound is making a big wave in K-pop right now. This kind of has a mid-aughts pop feeling to it. I read a review somewhere that said that this was like Jason Mraz meets K-pop. I definitely hear a little bit of that. It has sort of that Jason Mraz, Colby Calais, Hello Goodbye, like era of pop music, but done with a warmer Dio voice accompaniment to it. But that chorus is that, especially that oohing, is so wistful and romantic, and I'm in love with it. So I'm gonna definitely be checking out this album as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my reaction to Popcorn and Mars. Both fantastic music videos and very, very pleasing songs to listen to. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.